All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Wise Builders Live. Thank you for joining us. And wow, man, it's been a wild week, Evan Kilpatrick. How's your week been?
Not as wild as yours.
No, it's not. This week has been really interesting. The last time that we did this podcast, that we were in the studio, we were talking a little bit about, hey, I got a video that's kind of taken off, and we just briefly mentioned it. It wasn't even like that big of a deal. And for the first time, God, here I go again. For the first time in forever, here's all my Frozen references because my 2-year-old daughter makes us watch that constantly. But for the first time in forever, views. I've had a video even one time that did 60,000 views, and then I had one video one time that hit like 225,000. So I've had some videos that have had some success, but then I start watching this video on Friday, like the day we recorded the Wise Builders Live. I leave and I go, okay, this video is at like 100,000, so it's doing pretty well. But then I started noticing, Mark, have you seen what's going on with your video? And I was like, no, like, I mean, sort of, like, I know that it's doing well. And they're like, when's the last time you checked it? And I was like, this morning. And this thing had 1 million views, and I had gained 7,000 followers on Friday. Saturday, it jumps up another 1,000,000. So now we're at like 2 million, and I'm up to 20,000 followers. And as of now, today, 1 week of this video going viral, this video's reached over 6 million people, and I've gained 50,000 followers from this one video.
50,000.
So Evan told me, he was like, by the weekend, you'll be at about 50,000. So maybe four. So I've got 600
people.
600 people more, and this thing's still lighting up as we're on the recording. So like, I can show you my phone. Like, I'll lay it here, and it'll just be like ding, 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 ding. And every day I literally just mute the notifications because I'm like, there's no way to keep up with what's happening here. So it's pretty wild. So, anyways, welcome to Wise Builders Live. We're talking about a video that went viral last Friday, but we're glad that you're here, and we've got some things to talk about today. Every week we want to gather and we want to talk about wisdom. We want to talk about business. We want to talk about how to build from an entrepreneurial standpoint. So Evan and I are always talking back and forth about different things that we're learning in the journey. We're both entrepreneurs. Evan and I have been walking together for 13 years now?
I think so. I don't remember what year
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. We've been walking together for 13 years. We both have been just walking together. When I was traveling a lot, Evan would travel with me, drove me, was on planes with me, and when I was out there speaking and preaching all the time. And then Evan's always had his foot in the entrepreneurial world ever since I've known him, especially coming into the latter days of him being in college. And you were actually part of a staffing company that you guys built up really fast in Cleveland, Tennessee. So Evan's always been in the business world. He knows that I've always loved business, but I've always given myself and been busy full time in the ministry. And so I've been fortunate. I was a person that never had to really strive to see doors. Like, the Lord opened up doors for me easily, effortlessly. And so I was busy with all of that. But last year is learning and going and really strategizing about what is the business that we're going to have. And I really feel like now, in the past like month and a half, 2 months, I feel like I've stepped into that sweet spot of what we're doing. And so that's really exciting. There's a lot of meetings of going, what are we doing? What are we going to offer? How are we going to offer it? And then constantly like optimizing these systems and a lot. And so we could talk about a lot today in this podcast. But yeah, Evan and I are both entrepreneurs, both building businesses, and then partnering together to build a business. And yeah, we've got a lot on our plate this past 7 days, and it's like we went from okay, we've got this product, and we've got these services that we offer, but we've got to expand our reach to reach more people, and then one viral video, and all of that changes.
Yeah. So, how does it feel to basically over the course of 7 days have spoken to the largest room full of people that you've ever spoken to in your life?
Yeah,
6 million people.
yeah, it's pretty wild, and the amount of DMs that I have is absolutely insane, and I've literally talked to people from all over the world. In the past 7 days, I have been on phone calls with people who want our help to sell puppies online, to a man in Holland that wants me to help him sell his cannabis herb grinder. Like, it's like, what in the world is happening to my life right now? And then being followed by, like, legitimate celebrities, Hollywood producers, um, people that want to learn how to grow online businesses, content strategy for social media. It's amazing, and for me, like, one of the most refreshing things that I think I've heard the past 7 days from people, because I do, like, these 30-minute discovery calls with people that are really serious about growing their business, and, so my first of all, my you know this because you work in an office right beside of mine. I've literally been on the phone all week, doing these discovery calls. I keep my mornings for me and to work on the business and to spend time with Jesus. That's my mornings. But the afternoons, I open up for calls and meetings. And I've literally had that whole calendar fill up. And it's wild. I think the coolest thing for me is people saying, "Mark, like, not only did we love your content, but then we get onto this discovery call, and it's like, you're just so kind, and you're eager to serve." And I'm like, "Uh, isn't that how it works?" And they're like, they're what they're trying to accomplish or what they want to say, and people are like, "Mark, I feel like when I get on this call, you're genuinely hearing me, and then you're providing, like, amazing value and solutions to what you're hearing from me, and, we wanna work with you." And I'm like and there are people asking me, Evan, to work with them for things that I don't person, and they're saying they wanna do XYZ. Can we put an offer together? And we're like, "We can put an offer together for anything." And so it's just really cool because I get to build with some of the closest people in my life that just so happen to be social media people, graphics designers, admin and administration and executive leadership, and like yourself, and like go, we have a team of people that can do extraordinary things for people in the online business space. And now we're starting to get the opportunities to actually make that happen. And It's pretty cool.
Yeah. So in the midst of having yourself, in a room full of people,
Sure.
to use this analogy,
Yep.
with, thousands of people
Mhm.
consistently
Mhm.
over the last how many months? The pays off to where you go from, what would be a really good auditorium of 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 people who are listening to what you're having to say almost on a consistent basis, and then exploding to 6 million people on the lawn, like, bigger than Woodstock. Uh, I'm not
Accommodate all that, but, for me, I love what you're saying in the like, I didn't just start posting yesterday. I didn't and I hadn't figured out my content strategy last week. Um, I've been consistently posting for the business now really for 8 months, and then but I will say this, 2 months ago, I made a decision investment into this because I see the value of this. I see that other people have been successful with this, and I wanna dial that in so that it can help us serve people and also help us work with people. And so about 2.5 months ago, I started really investing in our content creation process, like not just throwing videos together, but actual like I get scripts, I have scripts, I record those scripts and I put a lot of I mean, it takes hours of me recording. Like I basically do them in like 2 days and I do 15 be three different characters in one video, but I've done a lot of work, it's like I'm a paid actor or something now when those 2 days, because it's like I literally have to bring in a wardrobe, change a shirt, record as one person, then step over here and record as another, wear a suit and tie for one video, all those things, and once we got serious about that, it took us about 2.5 months of posting, and I started watching gradual, like, success. I started getting focused on the content that I really wanted to talk about, and then 2.5 months of that kind of commitment and that kind of work, it just blew up, and I mean, you're literally watching my phone right now do what I just said.
on the way to 50,000 followers.
Yeah, and think about this, Evan. I so one frustrating thing, that I experienced with the Instagram journey was that I was stuck at like 3,800 people. I
Mhm.
just could not break the 3,800. And what I found out, thankfully, somebody helped me see this was okay, Mark, you have been known as a preacher for years. And so all of your content was ministry and preaching, basically. And now you've shifted your entire content on this page to nothing but business posts. So right now, the algorithm doesn't know what to do with you yet. So you're gonna have like right now it's confused, like, because the way the algorithm works is the algorithm, like, it it looks at first of all, their number one goal is I wanna keep people on this platform as long as possible.
Right.
So, the more attention, the more sales. The more attention come onto that platform and bring a lot of value,
Yeah,
right?
because when it comes to the social media platforms today, attention is currency.
100%. And so, like people that want preaching clips, ministry clips, Christianity, that kind of thing. And now you're over here talking about business. So we got to figure this out. And so I knew it was going to take some time. I started watching, the videos start climbing, and I realized, that it was going what was happening was I was stuck at 3,800, but I really wasn't stuck. I was actually growing, but I couldn't see it. And I was growing towards the number that I was growing towards people that actually wanted my content, but I wasn't breaking the 3,800 barrier because just as many new people that were signing up for business, all the older people that were following me, I don't mean old like in number of age.
Right.
I'm saying my old followers that were used to a certain level of content were like, okay, well, if he's not preaching or teaching the Bible anymore, then we're unfollowing. And so I was in this constant influx of like 100 followers coming in, 200 followers coming in, but then 100 followers uh, unfollowing. And so I was stuck at that 3,800, and I'm like, man, like what is going on? I've literally put my blood, sweat, and tears into these past 2 months to really provide great value and great content. And then all of a sudden, it skyrocketed, and I had people that called me that I know that have gone viral on Instagram many times. They were like, "Mark, it's phenomenal and maybe get 3, 4, 500 followers." I got 50, like, I'm about so that would be 47,000 people that have started following me in the past 7 days. That is
It's wild.
insane. So, yeah, man, I mean,
And
it
one of the keys there that you're mentioning is the focusing, narrowing the focus on the kind of content that you're creating. Ultimately, by drawing the line in the sand and saying, "This is how I'm gonna serve the people who are following this page," is by creating this business, entrepreneurial, social media tip kinda content, and the things that you're learning and that you're growing with. So, whenever you had to go through that process of just 2 months of just trying to figure out algorithm actually serve your content to the people that need to get served to.
Mhm.
And that is the power of picking a niche or a niche.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've had so many people reach out in the past week, "Help me with my Instagram, help me with my Instagram, help me with my Instagram." And literally, like, I think people think it's just the content, and it does help to have, like, focused content, bringing great value in each post. Like, I've literally got obsessed with solving people's problems. And I think this is a Myron Golden quote. It's like, when you start obsessing over your ideal client's problems, you'll never be broke because people are willing to pay a person best. But I've gotten to a place where I'm like, I know the type of people I want to serve and I want to help, and I'm going to provide really great content. But the the success though is really not in just the value of or the method of how I'm delivering the content, but it's the fact that I have finally picked a niche and I've been true to speaking to the same thing over and over again. It's online business, digital products, content creation. You need all three of those things in order for you to have an actual online business. And so, like, I talk about online business. Like, I am officially an online business coach. That's what I help people do. And when I got my niche focused, and like that's not easy work. Like, to anybody can pick a market. Oh, and anybody can even pick a broad niche, but if you're broad, you're broke. That's what I always say, to our wife. There, you'll get sales. That's the way it works. And, yes, like picking all the people that have reached out to me and said, "Help me with social media." I'm like, "The first thing that you need to do is you need to pick your niche and you need to pick what it is, the field that you're gonna serve, and then you need to not only." Sorry, I think we're having internet issues. It keeps going in and out. That's not our fault. It's just is what it is. Um, but in when you're serving someone's niche, right? Um, you gotta get specific. And so let's say that we are like we'll use Amy Porterfield as an example. I love Amy Porterfield. You've heard me mention her name many times. I took one of her courses. I've listened to her podcast. She's extraordinary and she's great at helping people on a very practical level. She has been in business 14 years, just passed $100 million in 14 years, and has only offered 3 products. What I so she is in the niche of online marketing, right? Um, she is in the space of digital products, online business, but she got specific and said, "Yeah, but I want people to become masters at online courses. I want to help people leave their 9 to 5 jobs for to become an online course creator." And she got specific about that niche, and now she's created 3 amazing products that can take a person that wants to launch an online course and explode them in their growth. And I think that's phenomenal. Um, but my one of my business mentors, Rick Pino, says and I don't think this is probably he didn't probably start this or create this statement, but he always says, "The riches are in the niches."
Mhm.
So, yeah, man, I mean, picking your niche is the most important thing in this whole content creation online business world because, if you do not have that, you don't know problems, pain points, struggles, challenges that those people go through, and therefore you can't create a product or make an offer that could even make you money. So you've got in all things, pick your niche.
Yeah, it's the foundation from where you're starting. Um, and that's one of the main things, one of the first things that's actually taught in the Wise Builders business community,
Mhm.
which
House Builders business community is something that I started months ago, and literally we're teaching people right now how to leave their 9 to 5 into a digital product, and then from that teach you content creation, online business, sales, optimize your social media and do content strategy to help you take that business and make it a legitimate business that brings income into your family. I tell people if you give me 90 days, 90 days in this, giving me 1 to 2 hours a day of deep work, undistracted deep work, then 90 days from now, you're going to start paying bills with that money. And then after those 90 days, you're gonna be paying your bills and your mortgage, and then give me another 90 days, and you're going to be on your way to making 100K plus a year, and it's gonna revolutionize your life. And on top of you having access to this ever-growing library from everything from pick your niche, how to create an ebook, even if you're not a writer, all the way to courses, launching communities, we walk you step by step through creating all different types of digital products. And then just a couple of weeks ago, Evan, we had a great friend of mine, Rudy, come in who is very high up in the company HubSpot. He's a great salesman there. He came in and taught our community 1 hour masterclass on selling high ticket offers, which accelerates wealth building on an amazing level. It's helped me so much even this week. His training was so timely to lead to this week to help me even with bringing offers to people that needed it on a high ticket level. But we've got amazing courses, amazing teaching inside of it. Plus, you get 2 coaching calls a week, group coaching calls where you can get in there, you learn, and then we give plenty of time for question and answer. I'd love for you to sign up. The price tag for that is still at $50 a month. Guys, that is an absolute steal for the level of content. There are people out there charging 10K and more for the community that we're building out right now. So save your spot. It's not always going to be $50. Next month, it's going to go up to $97. But this is a great opportunity for you to join, launch your online business, get some financial freedom, and get back your time and your money and start making memories with your family now. That's what's important to me. So,
Yeah, I've heard this quote numerous times from different people who have a lot of experience around really wealthy people. So I'm not talking about just like millionaires. I'm talking hyper millionaires, billionaires. And this quote has come from enough people to where it seems to be just a general concept that the ultra wealthy live their life by, which is this idea that money loves speed,
mhm,
meaning that the people who are your most successful. I read the other day. I looked at the Forbes 400 list, which is the top 400 um, wealthiest people in the United States according to this list. Every one of them is billionaires, and I think the number 400 spot was like somebody whose net worth was like 2 or 3 billion. So there are still people who aren't on the billionaires list that are there. Regardless, you look at the most wealthiest people in our country and study their life, their moves, the way that they act in business and the actions that they take. And more times than not, they have acted faster than anyone else around them. They've taken
mhm,
action. They have set the course while other people are still strategizing. They're thinking about it. They're riding the fence. They're collecting information. They're trying to figure out, should I go this path or this path or this path? They've already made like 4 or 5 attempts to do the
mhm,
thing
mhm.
and actually figured out the best way to do it before this other person ever even starts. So that is actually a really practical habit that if you're new to entrepreneurship, you're new to business, you're growing, you're one of the many people who are asking Mark, how do I grow my social media or help me with my Instagram? And it's something that's even played out even in your life with this specific example of this video going viral is that you took action. You
Mhm.
took action and you took speed to action. So anyone who is starting anything new that you've never done before, unless you're a savant, which would be like ultra, ultra rare, like once in a generation kind of person, you're going to be terrible at something when you start it.
Yeah.
So you might as well get through being terrible and take action and do it
Mhm.
as fast as possible. Fail as fast and as often as necessary
Mhm.
because that is the only way that you're actually going to get better. You're going to get the information you need to make better decisions more quickly. You're going to be able to take action faster. And ultimately, it condenses your time to creating the wealth that you really want to create for your family.
Yeah, I think it's so important what you're saying because there are so many people out there that are hindering their business because they're perfectionists and they will not launch until everything's perfect. And I want to tell you, friend, even if you create a product that you think is absolutely perfect, when you put it out in the market, you'll find out that you got to tweak it 1,000 more times because your perfect offer is perfect to you, but not perfect for everybody else. So it's like your own perfectionism is keeping you from making money, it's keeping you from launching a product, and it's keeping you from learning the real lesson, which is it's not about what you want to give to the market. It's about what people need and it's about what people want. And then you craft what you actually have knowledge, passion, and wisdom for to meet that need. And so not only are you holding back so much money with that whole thing with perfectionism, but you're not giving yourself the ability to learn a lot of lessons. And it grieves me, like last week and this week, it grieves me to know that I have people in my life or people around me that have great businesses, but they have to work really hard at making money because they have that perfectionism thing in them. And so they've got this product that they sell, and they may get 1, 2, or 3 clients with this product offer, maybe a quarter. And I just made what they would, and I'm talking about before the video went viral. I'm talking about before the video is viral and I have a small audience of 3,800 people on Instagram. I was able to do $10,000 in 1 day just because I was willing to make an offer. And so far, I don't even have I've never sent a like, talk about the 10K that I made in 1 day. I didn't have to create a landing page. It was literally them seeing something of mine on Instagram, a video. Again, I'm talking about before viral. Saw a video, saw that I gave a free discovery call, signed up for the discovery call. So all they did was schedule a call through a bookkeeping service or a scheduling service that I have online, and they jumped on a call, and I sent them a Stripe link, and they made a payment without a landing page, without a website, without a presentation on my call. It was me talking to an individual, learning about them and saying, "Hey, I actually have a solution for the things that you're talking about. Let's work together. I can help you with this." And I showed them how I could help them with it. And I spoke directly to where they were and gave them wisdom on that 30-minute discovery call that was enough for them to say, "Here's 5 grand. Here's another 5 grand. Here's the," and it breaks my heart that there are people out there that I know are just as talented or more than I am and have amazing skill sets to meet people's problems, but they are absolutely struggling paycheck to paycheck because they failed to launch or make an offer till the stars are aligned, until everything's perfect. It's like, I'm making money without all the things that most people say you have to have in order to make money. It's just not true. You have to engage with people, find out their pain points, their challenges, their goals, their struggles, the things that they're facing, and can you provide a solution? If you can, they'll pay you for it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, ultimately, if you kind of cut through all of the fluff and you're the talented individual, you have the business or you have the services or whatever it is, the skill set, and you're needing money, but that's the value that you provide to the marketplace. That's the problems that you solve. The money that you need is in someone else's pocket.
Yeah.
And that someone else needs your skill set, your solution, your product, your service, whatever it is. They need what you have. So at the end of the day, it's still just serving people.
Yes. Yeah, it's almost like Jesus knew what he was talking about when he said, "The greatest among you will be the servant of all." And I'm telling you, entrepreneurship is the quickest way to be Christ-like because it actually puts you in the culture, it actually gets you in front of people, it actually puts you in a space where you find out what they're going through, and then through wisdom. I mean, I get it. Okay, so like, yeah, I'm not nobody that's meeting with me on these 30-minute calls are getting healed from sickness or whatever. I'm not saying they can't. I'm just saying, like, some people are so spiritual that they're like, well, true servanthood of Christ looks like this. Like, you got the supernatural people out here say, if you're not doing miracles, you're not doing the kingdom. If you're not, then you got the crazy people that are like casting demons out of even Christian people, which I don't even know how that works. They're like, if you're not doing that, then you're not doing ministry. And it's like, but I think entrepreneurs are the closest thing to what I believe could bring true cultural impact from a kingdom perspective, because you are put out into the problems of the culture and being asked to solve those problems. And so, like, I'm doing way more than making money. I'm doing way more than making other people money. I am giving people a whole new way of life, a whole new way of thinking. People that are stressed out, bogged down with the problems of life, and they get off one phone call with me and they've got peace. That's the
Yep.
kingdom too. And entrepreneurs do that. We solve problems. We bring peace into people's chaos. We bring joy into people's depression. We bring hope where I was on a call yesterday with somebody who has a business that's really taken off right now, but yet they still have that thing of like, I hope this really works. I hope this is going to last. I hope, and like, they get off before they get off the phone with me, they're like, Mark, you gave me so much encouragement today. My hope tank is full of expectation for the things that's going to come from my business. And I'm like, that's the kingdom. Like
Yeah.
that's the joy of entrepreneurship. Um, and honestly, you can't get that in your normal 9 to 5 job. I'm not against people having a 9 to 5 job. I think it's a great place to start, but it's a starting point. And at some point, you outgrow that job and you start gaining wisdom. You start gaining knowledge. You get a passion for things, and then you outgrow that 9 to 5 to start solving problems the way I'm talking about right now.
Well, even when you start within your 9 to 5 job, if the focus shifts, and this is the same focus, like when entrepreneurs are starting their business, most of the time when they start their business, the reason that they're starting their business is what they are going to get out of it. Like, I want to be able to be financially free, want to create wealth for my family, want to have access over my time. These are all things that I want out of my business. And that's typically why there's a long struggle period for people who start new businesses, because it's primarily focused on serving them.
Mhm.
So the same thing with a job. When you're in a job and you take a job, you're coming into an agreement basically around, what do I need to do to serve me or serve my family? Like, I need to get a paycheck. So I'm going to do this form of service exchange. I'm going to solve this very specific set of problems for this one specific person, the business owner. When you're inside of your job, if you shift your mindset towards, I am solving problems and serving, like I'm serving someone by solving their problems, and you think about like whether it's your like immediate manager, your district manager, your or the owner of the company, when you start thinking about that, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. You're going to start getting elevated in the company because you're switching into that more entrepreneurial, even kingdom mindset, and you're solving problems at a better rate, at a higher efficiency rate than other people around you. And you're going to be asked to take on more. So you're going to get offers for promotion.
Mhm.
And you can do that all the way up until you're like the top person in your division, top person at your company. And at that point, you have maximized your ability to solve the problems for not only your employer, but for the other members of your team, for the other people who may be under your care and your leadership. So then the shift into like entrepreneurship isn't, okay, I'm going to start something that's going to serve me. It's, I'm taking my service to another level so that not only can I serve a single person or my team or my division, but I can expand the ability to serve hundreds or tens of thousands of people and create ultimately a ripple effect of goodwill and service into the world. And notice everything that I just said about all of that had nothing to do with money,
No.
because money will always follow service.
100%. That's what I'm saying. People talk about, oh, Mark, now you're just pursuing money now, and the love of money's evil, and they forget that no, it's actually the love of money that's evil. I this is so wild. I I have never really in this ever made money the aim. I obviously have bills to pay. I obviously have a family to take care of. I have a dream in my heart that I want to see funded and financed for 100 acres of property to build a gathering place, a youth camp, hold retreats for pastors, church leaders. I have all that in my heart. But I've never one time sat down and said, my goal is I'm going to make this amount of money. But I have sat down and said, I want to help this amount of people do this specific thing. And it just so happens that if I do that, that yes, there will be an exchange of currency. But for me, man, I posted this last week. I think it was, maybe it was this week. I don't know. This viral video has made, I don't even know what today is. I'm supposed to preach tonight. And, I'm excited about that. and prepared for the most part. But it's been a crazy week. And um yeah, I mean, literally just no, have no kind of lost my train of thought there, but I literally have like, oh, I posted this week or last week. I'm not in this for the watch. I'm not in this for the house or for the cars. Like I can tell you before Almighty God that cars don't intrigue me. Maybe a boat, like I like a pontoon boat, like a nice pontoon boat to put my family on. Like that's intriguing to me. But I didn't get into this for any of those things. Bigger house, nice cars, watch, whatever. I literally got into this because I want to see people make it. I want to see people become the first millionaire in their family. I want to see people be the one that breaks that poverty cycle and starts building actual generational wealth where their kids will never struggle the same way they did. Like I got into this because I want to see people tap into the promise of God that Deuteronomy 8:18 says, it is God that gives you the power to create wealth. And I wanna see people tap into that and break and imparting wisdom that breaks poverty off of people's lives, and poverty is not a lack of money. Poverty is a way of thinking,
That's right.
and the evidence of poverty is a lack of money. The evidence of there's evidence to poverty, but poverty is something that happens here. So, to be able to help break poverty off of people's minds, it's ministry too.
Yeah, I mean, that's why you can have the best paying job in the world. You've got doctors, lawyers, like people who are at the highest point of the like academically required careers who are making, 400, 500, $600,000 a year and they're still paycheck to paycheck
Oh, yeah.
because you can't like you said the money is it's like the lag indicator
Yeah,
of poverty. It's the
yeah,
fruit. And so every time if you're trying to like make more money to solve poverty, it's not going to work.
yeah,
Solving poverty is removing it from your identity.
yeah,
And something you said earlier about like focusing on solving, like not focusing on how much money you can make, but focusing on solving a specific problem for a specific number of people is going to lead to the byproduct of having the money that you want. And the journey to actually accomplishing that is the journey of becoming. It's the journey of becoming the kind of person who, instead of making $1 million, can serve 1 million people. If you can solve 1 million people's problem for $1, you made $1 million.
you're right.
I mean, it has to be a problem worth solving, and there has to be 1 million people who have it, and 1 million people who's willing to pay $1 for it. But you can't do that overnight. You have to become that person. You have to become that person who's capable of serving at the volume and at the capacity, both like physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, becoming that kind of person. And then the money is just magnetized.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very true. I wanna take a minute here, Evan, and, throw a question at you that is somebody watching on YouTube right now. It says, "Quick question. I have some content, but I have a nagging feeling that if I charge someone, it wouldn't be serving them since I might gain from it. Is there a better mindset?"
So they have content. Read that question again.
So they have content. I have some content, but I have a nagging feeling that if I charge someone, I wouldn't be serving them since I might gain from it. Is there a better mindset? Okay, I'll jump in real quick and answer this, and you jump in and give your perspective on it. I have a problem. My 2-year-old poops in her pants, right? That's a
Sure.
that's a
That's a
problem.
problem. Yeah.
That's a problem. She has not yet learned fully. She's not fully potty trained yet. We're working on it. She's a late bloomer for whatever reason. Most of our kids, man, they were quick off the gun. She's different. It's a problem. I will gladly go to the store, take out my wallet, and pay someone to put a diaper to catch that poop before it touches her clothes. It's a problem, and I'm willing to pay for it. What's the difference with you providing a solution for somebody's problem and then paying you for it? And people that like even for me, people are not paying me because I have a physical product to give them. They're paying me because I have a new way of thinking for them. They're paying me because I have a new opportunity for them. They're paying me because I'm showing them a way to do things differently. I'm showing them how to make money online in legitimate ways. I'm showing them how to make money online. So people are not even paying me for a physical product like a diaper for a baby that poops in its pants. That's a real problem, but so are the mental ones. And so to Danny, that's saying this, just because money is exchanged doesn't mean you have not served them well. Like that diaper company has served me well because it's solving a problem and that works mentally and physically. But you don't lose your reward. You don't lose the ability to serve because you've exchanged money. The only time we think of that, the only people that struggle with that are Christians. Not even Jewish people struggle with that. It's a poverty mentality that we've learned in Western Christianity, and it is hindering every Christian. It's hindering a ton of Christian entrepreneurs in the West. Is to say, well, if I charge for it, then it's not service. It's not like Christ. And it's like, but the Jewish people who gave us the Bible, who were the womb of the Christ, believe that you serving people in any capacity comes with money exchange. And nobody would say that that's a lack of service. It's actually in the Jewish culture, Hebraic culture is the more you serve, the more resources you have access to. So with service is an expectation of money. Now, with Christ, it's you serve people even if they don't have. Um, but I would tell you, how could you serve in a way if you don't have finances? You can certainly serve better when you have more. Like I'm already thinking in my head right now, okay, as I gain more resources, then I'm able to leverage more generosity. So there are people that are going to come to me that are like, Mark, I can't pay that for it. And it's like, oh, great. Well, I have a scholarship for that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But go back to your question. What do you say to that?
So I think there's probably a couple things at play. Um, One, there's a tendency that we have, especially if we're relatively new to doing something, gaining expertise, this, that, the other. It's this imposter syndrome, this feeling of like, okay, I can create something or I can do something to a certain level or to a certain extent, but it's not valuable enough because whatever excuse you want to give. And the truth is that because you don't think you're valuable enough, and no one else who has any kind of, humanity to them looks and thinks that about someone else. So first of all, if you're struggling with the concept of having to charge, then you probably should assess how or where your belief is in yourself, in what it is that you're doing and your ability to solve a problem for someone. Another element of this is if you can help somebody, or I should say, the best way to show someone that you can help them is to help them. So if you're able to provide a solution to someone for free to basically a smaller problem, a smaller degree of a problem, that allows the people who cannot afford to invest in that exchange that allows them the access to be helped by you. So it builds trust equity instead of financial equity in the relationship. But there's always going to be more people who, in the midst of that larger crowd, who want to consume your free stuff. There's going to be people who want a more intimate relationship. They want to buy one of your products. They want to hire you for one of your services. They want to work with you in a group setting. They want to work with you one on one. There are always going to be those people who they just hear your voice, they hear what your message is. You're providing a transformational value or a service to solving their problems, and they will want to go farther than just the point of free. And just the volume game, if you don't charge people to increase the intimacy of those relationships or those offers or those services, if you don't charge people, then you are going to cut yourself off from being able to serve more people as time goes on. So, a monetary exchange, most people think transactionally and they think, like, okay, I'm going to have a product or a service and I'm going to charge this much money for it so that when I give this product or service, I'm going to make some kind of money. It's transactional. Like, you go to the grocery store, it's like, I want this stuff, so I'm going to buy this thing. But when people are like selling something and they think transactionally, they're thinking about what they receive. And I mentioned this a little bit earlier, but even in like the grocery store analogy, the grocery store solves my problem in that I need food for the week, for the kids, whatever. They provide that solution. And I go and I get to pick what I want, like specifically out of a variety of way too much stuff sometimes. I get to pick exactly what I want, how that problem can be solved, and then I gladly pay for it.
Right.
Now, groceries are a commodity, so a lot of people compare prices,
Mhm.
but that's a whole nother story. So I would say that for the person who has some content, but they're afraid if they start charging, then it's going to devalue what they do. I would actually challenge you to look in the mirror, as Michael Jackson would say, um, and evaluate what solution are you providing. So if you're creating content that like basically teaches the entire solution for free, great. There's going to be a lot of people who are going to be helped by that. And then if you're able to offer to those people, hey, would you like me to walk with you and hold your hand and do this with you? There will be people who will want to pay that. They will
Mhm.
pay that price gladly to do that with you. If you go a step further and you're like, hey, would you like me to do this stuff for you at a higher price point? There's going to be people from that smaller group who would also gladly pay. And at the end of the day, it really becomes a numbers game and it becomes a volume game because not every single person who consumes your free stuff will buy,
Yeah,
but that doesn't mean that there aren't people who will.
that's right. That's right. It's really good. Well, I appreciate everybody that watched this today. I hope that this conversation brought a lot of value to you. I was just checking. I was hoping that we would maybe get to that 50,000 mark, but we did grow by 300 followers since we've done this in the hour. So we are just point three and a half away from that 50K. But I will say that I just got a message from Sonic Flood. So do you remember Sonic Flood? The
The
old
the
groups,
the
the
band?
band?
Yeah.
Okay,
Wow.
so my childhood in Christianity is being fulfilled. I'm like, "Oh my god." They're probably as old as New Kids on the Block, but if they wanna work with me, I just wanna say this to Sonic Flood, if you're watching this, um, I would be honored to do something with you. So, anyways, no, super thankful for, you, Evan. Thank you for being, a friend. Thank you for being a partner with me in this and bringing a lot of value to the conversation, and if you are on this call and you say, "Mark, I really want to take some time make an investment and I want to start an online business, or I want to scale my existing one, or maybe you have a legitimate brick and mortar business that you need to translate to the online business space, I'd love to help you. There's a link in the description of this video and in this podcast where you can set up a free 30-minute discovery call with me. I'd love to talk to you about your goals and your things that you would like to do uh, as it relates to online business. For those of you that are ready to jump in and learn online business, and you want to start from scratch and learn and have access to a library, 2 coaching calls a week, I encourage you to go join Wise Builders Business Community. It's a great community. There's great people in there learning and growing, just like you would desire to. And yeah, I'd love for you to be a part. Love to connect with you. Love to serve you in any way that we certainly can. So appreciate you guys being a part of the podcast today. And we'll catch you next Friday for Wise Builders Live.